Hello YouTube, it is Damien. It is another Football Manager 19 video. They're coming thick and fast. We're on the FM19 grind. This video is going to do with the FM19 Premier League that is coming up. That will be streaming on Twitch. We obviously got drawn as Liverpool, as you can see on the screen, if you have not already noticed, and all the stuff I put on Twitter and on the Twitch stream, where I have rejoiced and sung from the hilltops, had a moment, we've got giddy, we've cried, that we have drawn our boyhood club of Liverpool, the club that I ideally support in real life. We are going to have a little bit of fun in this FM19 Premier League, and the reason I'm doing this video as a YouTube video, not as a stream, is for everybody that watches me mainly on YouTube, is to encourage you to go onto the stream, give it a follow. My link in the description below for the Twitch will be down there. I am going to put all the FM19 content, all the games are going to be streamed live. Everything that's got to do with the FM19 Premier League pretty much is going to be on the Twitch stream. There will be this video here, which we're going to talk about, tactically what we're thinking of doing, what my expectations are for the league and what we're trying to set out and achieve ourselves, and a few other things. It is a disadvantage for me making this video, yes, because it is a competitive competition with other managers that can adapt to going, oh, I've seen Damien's video of how he wants to play, I'll go and counter him with this, for instance, right? But at the same time, I'm here to create content, and this is a load of fun for me. I'm getting to play with 19 other of the best football managers in the world, and see what I can do with a squad that is quite capable of, I'm not going to say winning the league. I actually think in real life we won't win the league. I think City will, but we have a great shot, and you never know what can happen in football. It's a funny game, and in saying that, that means Chelsea might stick around and make this title race very interesting. Anyhow, enough about real life. Let's get onto the virtual world of Football Manager. So in this video, you expect to hear me talk a lot about my tactics for the upcoming FM19 Premier League, what I expect to see in the FM19 Premier League, and what else will be happening in terms of what we will be doing for the FM19 League and how I can make it interactive for you guys on Twitch, and why I chose Twitch over YouTube to do most of this content. We might get into that first, because I know a lot of people might be here just to see, okay, this is what Dame's doing in FM19 Premier League. Let's get, I want to watch gameplay, I don't want to watch Damien talk. So let's get into that first, because I think that's going to encourage or, be what most people want to hear from this talking video before we go and talk about players individually and what my tactics going to be for the league and stuff like that. Why I'm doing this on Twitch more than YouTube, and why my long-term save is going to be more of a YouTube than Twitch, but we will stream a bit more of my long-term save, who I have decided the city of Liverpool is going to be my non-league to the Premier League save, is the main reason I want this to be as interactive with you guys. Now, I'm over the moon. I've been a part of this. I saw the Twitter come up. I went and I messaged FM Structure. I want to be part. I know I'm new. I know last year was my first year, but I want to be part of it. He welcomed me with open arms, and here we are, drawn as Liverpool. We want to make it as interactive for our viewers. Now, look, the way I'm going to thinking about doing this is that, instead of me just going, okay, we're going to log in, here's the game, let's end the stream, 20 minutes maybe worth of stream. No. We're going to log in early, right? We're going to log in maybe a couple of hours before the game is meant to kick off. And we are going to play sims. For instance, we got West Ham first up. I'm going to sim this save to the West Ham game, and then we're going to leave it, and then we're going to come in and you're going to watch Damien play against West Ham. Now, if we get the desired result, or whatever the chat reckons is the desired result, not a problem. That might be how we line up against West Ham. But say if we lost to West Ham, me and the chat will have a talk about it, we'll go through the analysis of the game, and then they can act as my backroom stuff and say, why don't you try this? West Ham are really acceptable at the end to the long ball, the constant long ball. Why don't you go and bring, Sturridge and Firmino up top with, play 4-4-2 and go really direct. I don't think I'd ever do that. That's not my style of football. We'll talk about my style of football later in this video. But, this chat can act as my backroom staff and be like, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Why don't you do this? I don't mind. In terms of when the game is being played, the actual game, I'm going to ignore that sort of tactical, feedback and sort of say, because I don't want to be a disadvantage to all my other streamers. I haven't run that past the league and its rules. If if you guys mention something during a game that I should do, maybe you might notice that, their fullback's carrying a knock and you're telling to exploit the other flank. Why don't you exploit this flank because his fullback's injured? Stuff like that, right? I don't know if I'm allowed to use that or not. I'm going to try not to. As well. I'm not going to play games on delay either. I'm going to play them live as well. We're going to commentate over them live. And that's another reason why I want to do this on Twitch, is I love my commentary over games, and a lot of people seem to have a lot of fun, and especially when they score late winners. I go ballistic, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and parents start screaming at me, my sister starts screaming at me because it's way too late to be doing that, and I don't care, especially with this. If Liverpool scored a 90th minute winner at Old Trafford to win a game 3-2 or something, I would lose it. I already know I would, and I already know I'll get me into a lot of trouble, but I don't care, because at the end of the day, that's what we're all about. Other thing that I want to do is, pre-match and post-match press conferences. Before the game actually starts, maybe 15, 20 minutes, the chat can go, I want to ask this question, that question. We'll have a question time. Why are you thinking about this tactic? Why are you starting like this? Why is this player missing out? Why is Ronaldo on the bench? Why have you gone with this formation? Why have you gone against your 4-3-3, for instance, and now playing 5-3-2, or something like that, and the chat can do that. We can do it with question time. We might even set up our own Discord so people can join the Discord channel, act as journalists, and ask questions and stuff like that as well. And we can go on like that and make it a real experience for the viewers that are interacting live with myself and myself interacting with the viewers. That allows us to do post-match. We lose a game and, we lost the game 3-0. And then at 3-0, we'll be like, Damien, why did you go to 5 at the back at 3-0? You have to go chase the game or something like that. Why would you go and try and defend a 3-0 loss, for instance? I wouldn't do that anyway. I would be throwing the kitchen sink to try and get back into the game. Or maybe it might be, Firmino was on a hat-trick, Damien, you chose to take him off, or, this player was playing really well, or Damien, you're winning 1-0 and you decided to bring Van Dijk off, for instance, and then bring Matip on alongside Gomez, for instance. Why did you choose to do that? And you conceded late because of it, maybe, and, questions like that, right? It allows the chat to interact with me and allows me to interact with the chat, and allows it to be, instead of being a 20-minute stream, it could be a 3-hour-long stream. Every week you're going to have a guaranteed 3-hour-long stream on my Twitch, and it's going to do with the FM19 Premier League, and, it really allows us to capture the whole journey, see how far we come, and really encourages people to go and check out my Twitch from YouTube, and vice versa. Allows us to go from everybody on Twitch to go, okay, now come check out my long-term save on YouTube as well. I'm not doing, you got to remember, I don't do YouTube or Twitch for, monetary purposes or, to make a living out of, for instance, or stuff like that. I do it just purely out of enjoyment. I love this stuff. I love talking to the camera. I love trying, entertaining others whilst trying to entertain myself, right? I love that side of it. And also, I love commentary, commentating over football games. I feel like that in a past life I must have been a commentator. And this gives me an outlet to commentate over, so it's great. That's really why I'm doing this on Twitch over YouTube, right? I'm thinking that maybe every 6 or 7 weeks or once a month we'll do a highlight package of what happened over the month, maybe, and we'll do a recap video on YouTube. That's definitely a thought that I've had. If I do it or not, I don't know. So that's that side of the video done. Not a problem. Now let's get into the nitty gritty. Why, some people here, definitely my other 19 competitors who I'm going to post a link to this video. It's silly why I do this, but they help me get views, and we help each other grow each other's channels. So they're going to see this video and they're going to lick their lips and be like, oh, I already know how Damien's going to play with his Liverpool side this year. I have an advantage over him because he's not going to have a clue. And people have been sending videos about how well they've been doing already in the beta version of their sides and stuff like that. I myself have gone, you know what? I have a style of football. I know how I want to play. I'm not expecting too so much of myself. And there we go. Maybe that's what we should go into next. My expectations for this. Now, I'm new to Football Manager and Football Manager content creation. You got to remember that, right? Last year was my first year, and we had a decent year. In terms of achievements in Football Manager, we won the Champions League with an Icelandic side in relatively not a short space of time, but a relatively decent space of time. We obviously did the FA Cup League and Champions League. We didn't do a treble, but we won all 3 of them with Liverpool itself as another save within that own save though of the HK, so not from the start. And then we had the Regina race, which we failed miserably in because we got burnt out and we decided to end the save prematurely to take a month off. So I feel like that we have a gist, and I know how I want my streams to be set up now, and about, know a bit more about my streaming and about how to upload on YouTube and stuff. There's a few things I need to do to make the YouTube a little bit more flashy. I understand that. But how does that weigh on my expectations is that we've got people in the league that have been doing this for years, right? And they've been a part of already, content creator cups, so to say, and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm at a disadvantage there because I'm new. I'm the new kid on the block. And then I go and say, but I drew Liverpool, a club I know so much about. I know so much the way they play. I haven't missed a game since I was about 17. I watch every game, and if I don't watch a game, I wake up in the morning, I make sure I don't turn my phone on, and I'll put the game on with my morning cup of coffee. And that's only a few times. That's a handful of times that I've done that, right? And it's been after 21st, usually. But I'll watch every game live, right? I know so much about the squad. I know so much about how Klopp wants to play. I'm a real-life manager. If people don't know, I'm an under-18s assistant at a semi-professional club here in South Australia, just the tier below the A-League that I coach at here in Australia. And I'm the under-17s manager of that said club as well. So I have a philosophy in mind, and I've been coaching for a few years, and I would like to bring that to FM19 and to this Liverpool side. Now, this Liverpool side is unreal, and this brings me to this page. And let's get into the nitty-gritty of what I want to do with Liverpool. It says here, key signings, Alisson Becker. We're not going to click on people's names here, but this is all the the transfer business going on and stuff like that. You see Fabinho on the list, Keita, Shaqiri. And the reason I'm bringing this page first is look at these names, right? Fabinho, Keita, Shaqiri, Becker. When has Liverpool in real life had a squad this good? Not in a very, very long time, where you can go and call it along. Daniel Sturridge to come off the bench to save a game against Chelsea, for instance, where he hits that worldie right and we draw 2-2. When have we had a player like Shaqiri to come off the bench to replace Mo Salah? We haven't, and we felt that in the Champions League final when we lost, right? It's a very good place to be in as a Liverpool fan. As a Liverpool manager for this Content Creator Cup, it is unreal that I could be behind in a game, for instance, against Man United. We could be 2-1. I could bring Shaqiri on, bang, 2 quick goals. Yoo-hoo! We beat Man United at Old Trafford 3-2. That is the dream. People haven't realised the dream is to beat Man United on here at Old Trafford and lose it doing it. I ideally would like to beat them like 6-0 or something, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's Football Manager. Man United Football Manager is really good. And then we got, we got those players on the list, and then we know about the players that were in here. Now, with this save, I'm going to try not to save anybody, but I've realised I made a mistake. I should have just disabled the first transfer window, and Mane is wanted by Madrid, so it's going to be fun negotiating that. But we will, and there we go. In terms of the tactic and what we're going to go into, here it is. This is what I play in real life, is a 4-3-3, and we're going to talk about the tactic in depth. We're going to talk about how I play in real life, and then how I'm going to slightly adapt it to the Liverpool squad, because obviously in real life I coach under 18s and 17s, I don't coach Liverpool, and how I would adapt it for Liverpool to play. The first thing I'm going to do is a mentality of positive. I'm also a positive manager. I like to play free-flowing football, so to say. I'm a mix between, if you go to the induction page, a tic-taca system that's vertical or normal tic-taca. My philosophy in football is this, and this is the main reason I got my under-18s assistant coach job as the under-18s coach I've played under as a player, and we get along really well outside of football, and I understand his philosophy. I really like his philosophy, and he's been around for a while here in South Australia as a coach. And the philosophy is very simple. Football's about time and space. If a player is in space, then when they receive the ball, they have time to weigh up their options to play a pass they want. They have time to look up and go, this is what I want to do. If a player can have time on the ball, they can then utilise the space they're in. For instance, if we are on this side here, and we can come out on the other side of the field, give it to Robertson from where we are, Trent, right? We go out the other way, right? All of a sudden, Robertson's in time and has space. That means he can bomb on. He could play a ball into Keita, for instance, where he's lined up here. He can go and link up with Mane, all that sort of stuff. If we all keep playing in compact little spaces and you don't have time or space, football becomes very hard, because it's like, oh, shivers, we've got to do this, bugger, you lost it, right? That's the way I play in real life. I play a very high possession base, very much. If there's time and space, let's go. A little bit more of like what Brendan Rodgers did under Liverpool, not when we won the league, but when he first came in and when he was at Swansea, I want to kill teams with possession, right? Now, in Football Manager, I'm not going to do that with Liverpool, because why would you kill the Ferrari, for instance, when you got these sort of players up front, right? You wouldn't, right? So I've adapted a little bit. And same in real life, right? I adapted to the squad I have. Now, I'm very heavy on the tic-taca, keep the ball. I want people to have time and space on the ball, and there's a way that I like to play out. I don't think I can tell players how to play out on here. I can give instructions, but in real life, I only play out with 5 players, goalkeeper, back 4, and the 6. And I have a rule where if they have to play the way they're facing. So 6 can only play the way he's facing, and it's usually to, the back 4, right? And the way that we are now to move out of the build-up phase of playing out is if a midfielder can get into, if a centre-back, a ball-playing defender can get into the midfield and create a midfield overload, so then everyone's facing forward, and then we play, right? That's how I play in real life. On Football Manager, I can't go into that much depth, but that's how we play in real life. A little bit of insight to what I do. But we're going to go through the custom tactics. Shorter passing, obviously, we're going to try and keep the ball played as tic-tac style. Playing out for defense, obviously, is a given. Low crosses, mainly because if we're going to get our fullbacks, overlapping our inside forwards, for instance, they're going to cross from the byline, and we'll show you the opposition, the player stuff as well. They're going to cross from the byline, and usually when you cross from the byline, you want it whipped nice and low. Front post runs, back post runs, 6-yard box danger, stuff like that, right? So that's why we're going to go low crosses. Dribbling less is an instruction here that I don't like, but I don't want it to be run at the defense. I'm actually going to take that off, right? Done. There we go. Because when you got the players of Mane, Salah, Firmino, that's really good with his feet, Keita, and we'll explain why Keita's playing a Mazzala role, players that can really good on the ball, really good at driving into space, really good at running at people. Robertson when he gets a bit of space to bomb onto. Even Trent, right? Why would I limit that? I don't like it, right? Anyhow, we'll get onto that. I want to be a bit more expressive. I want to, create the expressive movement that is Liverpool. My philosophy in real life is, you probably see where this line is here. Until this line, you're coached by me, right? I want you to play this way. I want you to build up like I want to. I want you to play, get time and space on the ball. After this line, that's your turn to be creative and express yourself on the football field to create your goal-scoring opportunities. Because as a coach, I can't control that. If you want to hit it from 30 yards, hit it from 30 yards. Saw that with Sturridge scored against Chelsea. If you want to play a little 1-2, Keita and Mane, go ahead and get in behind. If Robertson then wants to bomb on and utilise the space because Mane's come inside, go ahead. Expressive, creative movement. Because we're playing with inside forwards, we're obviously going to stay fairly narrow, fairly compact, and allow for our fullbacks to bomb on as well and give us our width. Doesn't mean Mane and Salah can't pick the balls up out wide. I'm just going to encourage them to come inside onto their preferred foots as well. And Mane should be an inside forward on attack, not on support. And that was annoying me. In transition, we're obviously going to take shorter kicks. We go from our goalkeeper. We're going to tell Alisson to play out to our centre-backs. Distribute quickly, though. We've got to counter-press and counter. Now, that means that even though we're in possession, when possession's initially when possession's been won and we've got the ball for a bit, we're obviously going to rely on what this is. Shorter passing, all that, looking to build up nicely. But in transition, if we win the ball in our counter press, let's go counter. Is it on? If it's on, let's release Salah. Let's release Mane. And that's why I've got the counter on there in transition. Because if Henderson was to win the ball and play for Fabinho or Keita, if they can look up and see, oh my, Salah's one-on-one with his fullback. If I release it into the space, can he go? Yes. Why wouldn't you? Because Salah's super quick and, deadly finishing things, 18 finishing. We'll go through players individually soon as well. I don't mind that. Out of possession, obviously, we've got a much higher line because we want to encourage some press. We're a higher defensive line, much higher line. Obviously looking to engage opposition very quickly as we want to press. We can't talk about how I'd like the press. There's obviously times where I like the press and people to man mark certain areas and stuff like that. We're obviously going to do it extremely urgently as well to go and press the ball carrier. We're obviously going to prevent the short distribution of the opposition and play a much higher offside line. I know this says structured, but I don't think I can change that anymore, or I can't see where to change it because I wouldn't mind being on a little bit more fluid. Might be in here. Fairly narrow, positive. I thought it used to be around here somewhere. Standard width, that's fine. I actually don't mind us being a little bit more narrower. Just to create, not too bad, but I know crossing's usually OP and Football Manager, might leave it, right? I know team fluidity is on structured. I would love to change that if I could find out how. I can't see it anymore, and I know it's not in there. Obviously, it's a custom tic-tacker system that we use. Now, we're going to talk about players individually, but we're going to do it through the player screen because I have some instructions to talk about as well, right? So, obviously, we're going to go to Alisson, right? Alisson is a sweeper keeper. And if you look at his stats, he's unreal. Now, I'm not going to go out and say that he is the best goalkeeper in the Prem, because that's De Gea. I'm not going to go say he's the best goalkeeper in the world, because that's arguably De Gea. Neuer hasn't been at his best. Ter Stegen's in really good form. And they all come before Alisson. Maybe Alisson's over Neuer at the moment, because Neuer's in poor form. But that's really it, right? Alisson, however, is world-class, right? And these stats prove it, right? There is going to be a handful of keepers that are better than him on the game, and there's going to be one keeper that's going to grow probably better than him on the game, and that's probably going to be Donnarumma, right? apart from regens and stuff like that. I think this guy's world class. For Liverpool to go, as a Liverpool fan, to go out and buy a goalkeeper that is of this quality is unreal. I love it. And for him to be playing for me in the FM19 Premier League is insane, because if we have to rely on him, obviously we can. He's got great kicking, handling, one-on-ones, etc., etc. I've got him on taking more risks, obviously, because we have to, but on a shorter passing, right? I don't want him to tackle hard or anything like that. I'm not going to tell him to go get sent off or anything. But goalkeeper-wise, very simple, and obviously we're telling him to distribute to both our centre-backs. Our full-backs, right, is where we're going to talk about a little bit more of our opposition instructions. Now, before we get into that, we know Trent's really good at crossing. In real life, I actually think his crossing is not as good as 17, right? But it's just good to see a local Liverpool lad coming in and playing for Liverpool, and I think he's unreal. He's obviously got good tackling, good technique, passing is exceptional for a fullback, and physically he's good enough to do the job, and he's going to grow in a sensational player in the future. Now, obviously, he's not going to grow during the time we play with him in the league, but he's a sensational player. However, for the system that we play, and you've got to remember that we're playing with inside forwards, right, is I want him, when we have the ball, to stay a lot wider. Create the space out wide so you can have space and then thus time to do what you want with the ball. Because if you have space and then time to wipe across from the byline, when you get beyond your winger, you're going to pick someone out with 17 crossing, you would hope, right? And then that's 1-0 Liverpool or 2-1 or whatever it is, right? It's a goal, right? It should be anyway. Also, by him to stay wide, as when we have the ball and we're transitioning in that build-up play, is then we can actually move the ball and create space and time for Trent to look inside to a 6 or 8 or a 10, right? If that's Fabinho, if that's Keita, if that's Henderson, if it's Milner, if it's Ronaldo, whoever, Lallana, if we're playing 4-2-3-1, because it might be one of the formations I'll go to. We'll talk about that a little later as well. This is a rambly video. I really want him to stay wider, right? And just get that time and space on it as well. That's obviously when we have the ball. When the opposition has the ball, obviously has to come inside, right? I'm not going to tell him to mark tighter. We'll set that up per opposition. But we're not going to leave that as it is right now. I want him to cross from the bottom. I want him to get in beyond. I don't want him to cross from deep. I want him to get in beyond and really attack that space in behind, both the inside forward, right? In terms of dribbling more than that, I've let that go. And I'll tell the crosses, I don't mind if it's far post, near post, or that. As long as it's a low whip cross, I don't care who it is. If it's at the back stick, front stick, 6-yard box, penalty spot, target man, don't care. Hit someone and just hit him well, right? So that's why we're playing Trent, and obviously that's been mirrored by Robertson on the other side, right? Staying wide to get further forward, running with the ball wide. Now, you might be saying, Damien, why run with the ball wide? I purposely left this one for more Robertson's side, is I want players, when they have time and space, if they have time to drive at the opposition, put them on the back foot, do it. Why wouldn't you? If Trent can receive the ball and they're really sitting deep on Mane, and, Keita's in the pocket, but, he's being not man-marked, but, there's not really enough time for him to do much with it, except for lay it backwards or back into Robbo, go. Because eventually someone's got to go to you, and that's where the space is going to be. And if they don't go to you, then whipping a ball with your 17 or something crossing. So go ahead. And that's why I've also got him on stay wider and get further forward, etc., right? He's got that 17 crossing again. His passing's exceptional, physically wonderful. He's one of our best signings that Liverpool are going to have for a very long time. He's an unreal fullback, one of the best in the Prem. I'm so glad that he plays for Liverpool as well. And, that get further forward, shoots with power and runs with the ball often. It suits him to a T because of his player traits, right? It's not too bad, and we'll talk about that a little bit more as well. In the whole, we have Henderson playing at the moment. I really do rate Henderson in real life. I know he cops a lot of stick. I really do like him. We've got both our fullbacks, Van Dijk, right? I actually captain Van Dijk if I was managing Liverpool in game and in real life. I think Van Dijk's a natural captain. He's a natural leaver. He's one of the best free centre backs in the world. I'll put Ramos over him, obviously, because how much Ramos has done and Ramos has run. Ramos at the moment's in poor form, but not too bad. You then go Umtiti probably because he's won the World Cup recently. Barcelona, he's playing at Barca. He's obviously a world-class centre-back, and I think Umtiti has all the traits to be a world-class centre-back. And then you think Van Dijk's third, right? He's transformed the Liverpool side from a shocking defence to a great defence. He is of this quality. Look at the stats: 18 headering, 16 marking, passing is exceptional for a ball-playing defender. Tackling, he doesn't seem like he misses a tackle. The first tackle he missed all year that I reckon in big moments was against Sane, and we didn't get punished for it, thank God. He just pace, he's athletic, he jumps up, he wins the ball, he's tall, he meets all the criteria. I think he's the third best centre-back in the world, if not second to Ramos, right? And Umtiti and him are very close. You look at Chiellini or Bonucci. Bonucci was in poor form in Milan. Chiellini's getting older now. He's probably not as athletic as he used to be. And then you look around the rest of the world and you go, there's not really anyone else at centre-back, bar Van Dijk, behind Ramos and Umtiti, right? And I honestly think, deep down, I think Van Dijk's better than Umtiti and arguably better than Ramos at times as well. I think Van Dijk's sensational. He's one of the best centre-backs in the world, and it's amazing him playing with us. We obviously got Lovren on the other side. Don't expect to see Joe Gomez play a lot of games as well. We'll talk about Joe as well a little bit later in the video too. And the reason why I picked Lovren right now for the video is headering, marking, passing's better than Gomez's passing as well. Got great tackling. He's physically, sound. He obviously had a very good World Cup. I think Lovren is near enough to world class, right? Not world class yet. He's near enough. Joe Gomez is probably not as good as Lovren, but has better potential than Lovren will, right? Because Lovren's age and Joe Gomez is obviously a young English kid. He's going to get a lot of time in the Premier League, and I honestly think Joe Gomez is going to grow into being one of the best centre-backs alongside Van Dijk that Liverpool are ever going to see, and that partnership is going to be amazing for many years to come. That's so we hope as a Liverpool fan. But I think for in-game, Lovren's going to start most games. However, he's currently injured, and the rules are that I can't use him because he would be an injured player at the time. So Gomez will probably start round 1 for me against West Ham, right? We will then get back to Henderson, right? When I play in real life, I play this way, a 6 and 2 pocket plays, 8 and 10, right? With my 6, I want someone that's going to shield the back 4. Your number one job is to make sure defensively solid that you're holding down that midfield, providing balance. So if your 8 and 10 go, you're there covering. You're there doing what you need to do, right? And you're an outlet, and you're a deep line playmaker, basically. You get the ball, you play it. You keep the ball. If we need to go out other side to create time and space, go ahead. I love when Henderson recycles it backwards or sideways and that, and people go, oh, but he's not forward enough and this, that. There's points in games you need to keep the ball, and Jordan Henderson is my guy for that. He's going to be not nailed on in that position, but most times than not we are. I'm told maybe playing Fabinho there, but it limits Fabinho, and there we go. We're going to get on to Fabinho now as a box-to-box midfielder. I love a box-to-box midfielder, a guy that can go box-to-box, that can break up play, can win a tackle, can win you back the ball, can be effective down the other end. He's a big lad as well. I really love this guy. I think that he's sensational. Look at his traits. Gets into opposition, plays 1-2s, knocks balls with his opponents. He can bomb on. He's the better version of Emery Chan, right? I put him on move into channels because it's one of his player traits, so I thought that made sense. And if he can move into the channels and get on the ball and then play 1-2s for Fabinho, for instance, then he's in the box, you go, Steven Gerrard? Maybe. Not really, but that's the end goal. If I can get Fabinho to score a goal like that in Football Manager 19, I've achieved what I wanted to achieve with this system, right? And that's why I haven't got him to get further forward because, once again, I want him to still provide balance when we don't have the ball. I want him to press, and I don't want him to get caught too high, right? Because he has to be an outlet for us as well in the middle of the park. I haven't got him to tell to run wide because obviously we're playing so narrow, and if we start running wide, he's going to crush into Salah, he's going to, eat up on the right-hand side, he's going to eat up Trent spot, Trent space, etc., etc. So that's why I've got him as he is like right now. It's a box-to-box. On the Mazzala side is Keita, and you got to remember why I put Mazzala as Keita on the left. He has played with Mane before. In real life, he plays on the left, and I love the way he links up with Mane. He's also a player that can get into the box. Now, why on attack, you might say, Damien? He's got 12 long shots for a guy that plays centre mid and is apparently not natural as a Mazzala. I'm sorry, look at these stats. He's a natural Mazzala attacking player. He can link up with the play. He can play 1-2s. He places his shot when he gets in and around the box. So why wouldn't you get him bombing into this channel inside of Mane, linking up and playing 1-2s with Mane, and then releasing Robertson as they overlap, or he gets into the box to play 1-2 with Mane, then he's in. Can he shoot? Can he lay it across the box with a whipped cross from the byline to the back post to Salah or Firmino or Mane into the box, or Fabinho bombing on the box to box? You see the system that I'm creating, right, is that if we can get him buzzing in and around here and around that 18-yard box, it's going to be hard to contain this Liverpool side, right? And that's what I want to be. At the end of the day, I want to make it very hard for managers that are managing against me in the league to go, okay, I can sit deep now, but then you're going to worry about Fabinho bombing on from deep. You're going to worry about Keita, Mane combining in between the spaces, in between my box to break us down. And then what happens when they score? We've got to go forward and they're going to keep doing that. Then, we kill games off like that, And it gives us an outlet, right? So I really like Keita in that role. I really like him like that. I've got him, getting further forward. I've got him to stay slightly wider, right, as well in that Mazzala role. So he can link up with Mane, right, and then allow Robertson to bomb him. You got to remember, being in a narrow system but staying slightly right, he's not going to be out on the wing. Nor do I hope. If I see he's out in the ring, I'm going to change that. but he shouldn't be. From what I've done with Mazzala's and FM18, is that he will hold in this in the half space in this little channel between fullback and centre back, and that's where I want him. I don't want him to be this narrow. I want him to be in and around here, combining with Mane and so on and so forth. We're going to go on to Salah's side now, and the one thing you will notice is I've got sit narrow on with the ball, right? Obviously playing this narrow system, I want him to sit in the half space of Salah, but really allow space for Robbo to push on as I hit my box behind me. To allow Trent the bomb on, same Robbo to give him Mane, right? Sitting narrow also allows Salah to get in on that left hand, get him onto that left foot, right? And really try and hit one, right, with that left foot, because he has 18 finishing. It also means that I've put dribble more with him on and cut inside with the ball. I want him running in on that left foot. I want him making defenders backtrack, because if they backtrack, then the ball to open up to get the overlapping fullback of Trent to get to the bylines on, because obviously they're backtracking, Trent can make that run, and eventually he's going to have to go and follow Trent, or he's going to have to press Salah if he backtracks off as Salah dribbles at the ball, right? And if that happens, you play Trent. If not, if he goes to Trent, Salah comes in, he beats his man, he's in on goal, right? That's what I want from that Liverpool side. And that also means that, okay, he's come inside now. That means I can bring Firmino into the game. I can bring Fabinho bombing on. I can even bring the Mazzala of Keita in that space, and then we can go out the other side to Robertson, right? As Mane should be sitting inside as well. And it just creates so many more headaches playing like this. With Liverpool, obviously, at the same side, we've got Mane doing the exact same thing, mirroring what Salah's going to do to allow Robertson to bomb on and get to the byline, or to come in and create problems. You've got to remember, both these guys are left-footed and right-footed on, opposite wings, so they're inverted, they're inside forwards. They can hit one from the edge of the box with their preferred foot, and I love that. It's how I would ideally play in real life as well. I just think I have a lack of left-footers in my team at the moment to allow me to do that, but we'll see closer to the season starts. My season isn't right now. My season starts when the off-season, the Premier League, for instance, it's backwards here in Australia. There we are, but obviously Mane stats are unreal for this. It doesn't have the 18 finishing, but 15 finishing ain't bad, and he's obviously a very good inside forward on attack. The last person I'm going to talk about is Bobby Firmino in this, and I've got him as a pressing forward. This was made for Bobby, right? Bobby is hands down one of the more important players for Liverpool in real life, right? When you see Bobby chase back and harry a centre-back or a 6 and win the ball back for Liverpool and start that counter on that counter press is unreal, right? He is unreal at that. Now, the reason I have him not on defend doing that just against his 6s and I don't have him on attack is because in his system, in his traits, is he likes to move into channels. If I play him on attack, he can move in the channels, but he wants to get the ball further forward. And Bobby likes to drop in deep and get other people into it, but he likes to drop in deep to the channels. And that also allows Fabinho to bob on, Keita to run past him. It could even allow for Mane or Salah to, rotate with him as he comes into a channel on the right-hand side. Salah can drop into the middle, stuff like that. And the headaches. You can see the headaches that it's going to be for opposition to contain us, right? So that's why I got him a support, so he can just, in an attacking set, he can move into the channels, he can receive the ball deep, he can go on if he wants to. But pressing-wise, he's going to press both the centre-backs, but he's going to press the 6 as well. I'm so tempted to man-mark his centre defensive mid, a DM/centre midfielder, or the 6, right? Because that's what I do in real life. But for this, at the moment, I'm going to leave it. And maybe against certain sides, depending on how I think people are going to line up. Depends if I do that or not. But we are going to cancel that one there and not make any changes to that. So that's how we're going to line up. Now, that's a lot to process, and there's people we've got to talk about still. Adam Lallana, I think, is going to be huge for us. I think Lallana looks good. He's naturally centre attacking mid. But for games where we are finding it hard to break opposition down, we're 0-0 after 60, 70 minutes, I think it's worth throwing Lallana on. I actually think he's a really good player for us. And it allows me to switch from 4-4-3 to 4-2-3-1. We sacrifice a DM for, a centre attacking midfielder. Allows us to play on a little bit more of an aggressive system. Probably move to a bit more of an attacking system. And playing 4-2-3-1, we can zip the ball around. There's another play in between the space. And we can really look to break opposition down, right? And really just go and try and find that goal as well. And I think Lallana provides that outlet. You talk about Daniel Sturridge as a super sub. You saw what he did against Chelsea in real life. This guy off the bench is unreal, and there's going to be times where he's going to start throughout the competition as well, and he would be unreal to use as well. I think Sturridge is going to be quite the player. Klein's a very good backup. Millie in real life, I think, is our most important player. When Millie's on, Liverpool on. If Liverpool are off, but Millie's on, Liverpool still win, right? If Millie's off and Liverpool aren't playing well, Liverpool lose. Napoli, for instance, right? This guy is unreal. Unfortunately, on Football Manager, I don't think Football Manager realize how important he is. I think those stats need to be better. That passing should be higher than 14. That crossing should be higher than 14. Most assists in the Champions League. Finishing at 10. Sorry, Millie knows how to put a ball in the back of the net. Long shots of 7, that's a lie. You know, pace of 12, sorry, this guy's got it still. He's still got the pace. Stamina of 16, you know, that's about right. This guy can run for days. You know, that work rate stat of 18 is super important. I think off the bench, this guy's a box-to-box is unreal. And you will start to see him start over Fabinho. I'm so nearly tempted to switch Fabinho and Millie right now. I might play Fabinho. I may play Millie round 1. Whoever's coaching West Ham, off the top of my head, I can't remember. You're going to have to wait to see. But Millie will definitely play games. Divock, I actually think is a really good backup because I actually think this guy's pace off the bench is not bad as a poacher. Advanced forward, I actually just think if you play him as a poacher and just really focus on him getting the ball in behind, unreal player, right? For us off the bench, he can change a game. You know, we got Shaqiri, obviously, as well. This guy for us, like I said in the start of this video, to have this amount of depth is beyond us. I love how much depth we have. Long shots, dribbling. His finishing is a little bit lower than I would like. I actually think his finishing should be better in real life. You know, he's obviously a very good free kick taker. You know, pace, acceleration, etc. Dribbling, crossing, inside forward. Can play as a winger as well. Can play either side. He's left-footed. I really like this guy as an impact sub, and we'll definitely use him. You definitely might see him start a few games as well. You know, you got Wijnaldum, who is very unlucky to miss out on this side. I think Wijnaldum and Naby Keita are very similar players. Wijnaldum can technically play box-to-box as well. He's very good at it. I just think that he's a deep-line playmaker that isn't natural playing as a 6, and I don't want to play 3 centre midfielders, or else he'd probably start with Henderson. But there we are. I like that he arrives late in the opposition's area, though, and he cuts in from either wing. So Mazzala's not a bad role, or box-to-box isn't for him either. He suits the system. I just think there's better players that suit the system more than he does, right? In real life, though, would I play Wijnaldum over Fabinho? Yes. On Football Manager, probably not, right? And he's one of those that fit in the character that on Football Manager, you got to remember it's a game, not real life, so we've got to change it slightly. But there we go. Who else are we going to talk about here? Moreno doesn't count as a player for me because I would never use him. I play Millie at right back, left back over Moreno. I think Moreno's a failed winger with not a good enough end product and can't defend, so he's a failed fullback and therefore is not a Liverpool quality football player. Joe Gomez obviously is a player that I've talked about. You will see him start. You can play Libero, unreal. And you can also play right back as well over Klein. If you wanted to, is another option. You played there very well on the weekend against Huddersfield, and it just shows how much potential he is. I really hate that he doesn't have 5-star potential. I think Football Manager's missed a trick there. I think he does. You know, Matip as a backup centre-back, and all of a sudden you just go through the depth for Liverpool. When has Liverpool had this amount of depth? We haven't ever. The squad is unreal, and that really gives me the emphasis in terms of what I can achieve in the content creators top. You know, a bit of excitement that I could maybe, you know, pull up a few trees, and me being so inexperienced, I can still maybe do something in this competition. But in real life, it's an exciting time as a Liverpool fan. I never want to say that we're going to win it because I'll cap so much stick from it from my friends. But deep down, I feel like this is not our year, but we definitely could win it in a perfect world, right? City drop points, we could be there. We just have to stay in the title race for as long as possible. And having this much depth is going to help us. But that is going to end the video, right? That is the Liverpool lineup. That is what I want to line up as. That is how I want to play. That's how tactically I'm thinking about. Yes, this is a disadvantage for me to produce this video for everybody else, you know, in the league. But for people that really want to watch us to go out there and play and really want to watch us to go out there and, you know, be entertained, this is what we're going to bring, you know. And maybe even for people that are going to watch this and be like, I don't really watch Damien's stream, but we're going to be seeing so much attacking football. Why wouldn't you? Because at the end of the day, there is definitely ways that we might go score 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 goals per game, but we might concede 2 or 3 as well. I don't think that's the case, though. We do have a very good back four as well and a very, very good goalkeeper. Anyhow, we're going to save the game just to make sure all those changes have been saved because I've been tinkering with this a little bit before I produce this video as well. That's going to be Damien signing off. Now, very important. Links are in the description below to the Twitch. Stay followed so you know when we go live, so you can watch this stuff live. You can watch the FM19 Premier League live. You can watch me commentate over these games live. You can watch, you know, my long-term save live on certain occasions as well. We will stream it, even though it's going to be more of a YouTube save. Obviously, you're watching this on the YouTube, if you haven't subscribed, why not? You know, if we're putting this much effort into in tactics video, imagine how much effort we're going to put into games and important games. You know, there's numerous episodes in the HK series before we even bought this microphone where you just go, wow, this guy's, you know, he loves it, he's passionate, and we are about Football Manager. I love the game dearly. It's my favourite game in the world. You know, it's even better than FIFA, even though FIFA 19 is not a bad game, and I'm about to go play that after I finish this, before I go to coaching. We got, we've also got our Twitter link in there, so you know when we're going live, you know about updates, you know about screenshots that we're taking from certain moments. We know we ask questions about should I sign this player, etc., etc. There's my link to my Facebook there, but we rarely use it. It's a bit more for my friends instead of me posting it on my wall where all my friends on Facebook. It's more the people that are interested in Football Manager can, come on Facebook and see what I'm doing, but I encourage people to go and like that too, because whatever we post on Twitter, we basically post in there as well. And that's going to be all the links in the description below. I'm really excited for this competition. I'm really excited to be managing a boyhood club that I love dearly, which is Liverpool. I am really, really just excited to get on with Football Manager. I'm really excited for a lower league database to come out so I can start my long-term save, because it's driving me a little bit nuts that everyone's already started something, and I'm sitting here going, I need to wait until a database has been released. Enjoy the rest of your day or night, wherever you're watching from. This is Damien. This is a 40-minute video on tactics, but I don't care because I love it, and I hope you guys have too. From wherever you're watching from, good night, good morning, good day, have a good one. It is Damien signing off from YouTube, and goodbye from little old Adelaide, South Australia. Enjoy and thank you.